first sewing machine, your quilting BFF. By the end of this video, you will know what features to look for in your first machine, some nice to have features, and what a Quilter's Edition sewing machine is. Hi, I'm Linda Johnson and I've been quilting for over 20 years. The first thing I want to say is please stop the overwhelm. I know there are so many machines on the market from various manufacturers at various levels with all kinds of different add-ons, etc. So the first thing I want you to do to save yourself a lot of overwhelm is to put the words sewing machine dealers near me into Google. If you are lucky enough to have a dealer nearby, please go visit them and go on your sewing machine journey with them. It is definitely the better way to do this if you have the opportunity. Please do not buy a sewing machine from Amazon, a big box store, Walmart, etc. Yes, it can be easy to do that. You just click a button, pay with a card, and you get a machine. However, there is no one to teach you how to use that machine. And yes, there's a learning curve even with beginner machines. And there's also no one there that will help you if something goes wrong, and it probably will at some point. So features to have. A 1/4 inch foot is key to maintaining a 1/4 inch seam when you're sewing your quilt tops together in your piecing process. A large harp or throat space is also helpful. The bigger that space from the needle to the inside of the right-hand side of your machine, the better. If you plan to sew a king-size quilt, pushing it through a machine that has a 6 inch or smaller throat space is going to be very taxing on you physically and very frustrating. The bigger that harp space, the better. However, the bigger that harp space, the bigger the dollar value when it comes to buying a sewing machine, unfortunately. So the features that are nice to have are a 1/4 inch foot. This is my Bernina number 57, 1/4 inch foot, and there is exactly a 1/4 inch from the needle position here to the outside, which would be running along the right side of my fabric. You will notice there is a guide on this foot, which makes it easier to run that guide along the right-hand side of your fabric, but it is also very easy to run it up that guide, therefore increasing your 1/4 inch seam, so you no longer have a 1/4 inch seam. The nice to have features are a large plexiglass table, like this one. I apologize, it doesn't have the feet attached to it. This slides on to the sewing machine and extends your sewing space. This is particularly helpful when you are quilting your quilt. A free motion foot. I cannot find mine right now, but this is close enough. And this is the old style Bernina darning foot. You can see there's a hole in the middle here. And that is the type of foot you would use for doing free motion quilting. A walking foot is another add-on feature that is nice to have. A walking foot is very helpful when you come to quilting your quilt. In addition to posting videos, I also send out a weekly email on quilting tips, tutorials, product reviews, and more. Check out the description for the link to join today. Since you stuck around to the end, I have one last tip to share. What is a Quilter's Edition sewing machine? You will see these in your sewing machine search. A Quilter's Edition sewing machine is simply a sewing machine packaged with quilting accessories marketed to the quilting market. You will see the words Quilter's Edition on the machine. Expect to see a 1/4 inch foot packaged with it, and possibly a large plexiglass table, and possibly a free motion foot. That is all that a Quilter's Edition machine is. It is another machine that they've just slapped the name Quilter's Edition on, added a few accessories, and marketed it as such. If you find that it would cost you more to add on those extra accessories than it is to buy the package, then a Quilter's Edition machine might be for you. But please keep in mind, you do not need a Quilter's Edition machine to get started quilting or to quilt, period. Thank you for watching. Bye now.